Let me talk to you about the housing crisis here in California. You have 72,000 homeowners who are in one stage or another of foreclosure. 20,000 have already lost their jobs or lost their homes. In California especially, when real estate goes south, it drags the economy with it. It's about construction and home furnishings and appliances. It's about tax revenues. Is this going to be bad for a long time? Is it going to be a longer recovery than anybody anticipates at this point?
Well, first of all, let me just say that it is sad when you see the kind of people that are unemployed and how tough it is to get a job. And this is why we want to pump in as quickly as possible the billions of dollars to get people back to work, especially in the construction business. But I am as amazed as everyone else of how quickly that came. And the housing crisis, the subprime mortgage crisis, and all of this kind of things. Because I have had last year in the spring meetings with economists, and they said to me that for the next 2 years, the economy in the United States is going to be strong. The economy worldwide is going to be strong. There is nothing that is indicating any decline at all. Sure enough, 2-3 months later, we have seen the slowdown in the housing market. We have seen the subprime mortgage crisis appearing. We've seen our revenues shrinking in Sacramento, and $200 million a month came in less than anticipated. Then it went up to all the way to $600 million by December already. So this really, I think, was a big surprise to everyone. And I don't think anyone can really guess of how long it will take. We are very fortunate here in California because we have so many different economies. We have the real estate, we have the entertainment economy, we have biotechnology, we have high technology, we have agriculture, we have all those different economies, so that gives us some strength, even though we are suffering because of the decline of the housing market.
But has California been on a binge that was just unrealistic? A lot of speculation about cashing in on the real estate market, buying the big SUVs to drive on the freeways, one passenger, using all of that energy?
Well, no, I think that, there were big mistakes made by borrowers, and there were big mistakes made by lenders. And I think that everyone was on such a roll, and the real estate market always, every year, went up and up and up. And so people started speculating. And, of course, what happened was the housing market, it was like the dot-com bubble. It was a housing bubble. And it finally, the whole thing collapsed. And now we have to just wait until we grow our way out of this situation. And I think that by next year we will grow out of it.
You have a lot of propositions on the ballot again this fall. One of them would mean a constitutional ban on gay marriages. Do you support that?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I think the Supreme Court made a good decision there. It was apparently unconstitutional to stop anyone from getting married. It's like the 1948, the interracial marriage, when the Supreme Court of California has, decided that it was unconstitutional, and then later on, the Supreme Court of the United States followed, I think 10 or 12 years later. So I think it's good that California is leading in this way. I personally believe that a marriage should be between a man and a woman. But at the same time, I think that my, belief, I don't want to force on anyone else. So I think that we should stay with the decision of the Supreme Court and move forward. There's so many other and more important issues that we have to address in California. So I think to spend any time on this initiative, I think is a waste of time.
There's another proposition that would require a waiting period and parental permission before a minor could get an abortion or the termination of a pregnancy. Do you support that?
Yeah, I support that. I think there should be a notification of the parents, and I was always for that. And I have 2 daughters myself. I would not want to have someone in the school take my daughter to a clinic to get an abortion without telling me or my wife. I think one or the other should know. If my daughter decides she doesn't want to let me know, but she feels more comfortable with my wife, that's perfectly fine with me, because my wife and I, we are partners in raising our kids. But someone, one of us both, should know. And I believe in that 100%.
It's well known that your wife, Maria Shriver, endorsed Senator Obama early. Is that off limits in discussion in your household? And if he wins and says he'd like to have her join him in Washington in some capacity? Would you think that's a good idea?
First of all, I think that it's great that she has her own opinion about this, and I supported it 100% when she called me before she did the appearance at UCLA. And I told her, go ahead, do it. I think that you feel very passionate about that. And I feel very passionate about the person I endorse, which is McCain. And I think that we have always been like that. She has always endorsed or supported Democratic candidates. I've always supported Republican candidates. It makes it interesting discussion at night at home when we have dinner. Sometimes she pulls in the cutouts of Obama or whoever candidate she's for, and is putting it right next to my breakfast table. And as I have to look at it, and then of course when he screws up in one way or the other, the kids carry out the cutout, and he has to be outside the house for a while, and then they carry him in again. So we have this kind of things going on. But I can only take off these things for so long. But eventually, I also am sick and tired of it. So one day at night, I remember we had dinner. I got up because I had it, and I got up and I said, McCain is the man. He's the best man for this country and for the future. And Maria is absolutely wrong with that Obama fellow. Absolutely wrong. I was so lucky that Maria was out for dinner that night. It was easier to do that.
Her very closest friend in her family is Caroline Kennedy, who is on the Obama Vice Presidential Selection Committee.
Can you believe that? When I heard that, I was like, I can't believe this. I mean, for Caroline,
do you have any inside information for us? Does Maria talk in her sleep or anything?
Well, I've been talking to Caroline. No, but she's working, I'm sure, very hard at this, and she's taking it seriously. And she has been a big supporter of Obama right from the beginning. So I think it's terrific for her. She's a very smart woman, and she will be very good in helping them making a decision.
Did Senator McCain ask you for advice about how he should run against Senator Obama?
He did not, no.
What would you tell him?
I would say, look, you have a lot of smart people around you. Ask them. I'm going to give Senator McCain advice on how to run against you.
You have talked recently and again in this interview about the importance of the two sides getting together and finding common ground, people working together again. Here at the Reagan Library and the LBJ Library in Texas, they'd like to have a series of town halls using both libraries in a kind of a bipartisan fashion. Do you think that would advance the interest of the country during this campaign year?
I think so. I mean, I think it would be interesting to have a debate between the two candidates and to have town hall meetings together so that people can hear from both of them without having those formal kind of question and answer sessions where they stand behind a podium. I think those are fake. I don't buy in on what they say when they do this kind of format. I think a town hall meeting would be much better. And I think that it will be also very important for them to talk about reaching across the aisle. And I think this is the very attractive part about Senator McCain, because he doesn't just talk about that. He has proven it over and over again that he can reach across the aisle, he can bring people on board and create some action. And I think that's what we need in the future. We need to have someone there that can bring both of the parties together, because there's no way that we can reshape and fix our country, the various different ills that we have, and create again a better image overseas with just one party. You have to have both parties work together, and this is why I'm a big believer in the post-partisanship. It has worked here in our state, and it's a whole new way of looking at it, to be willing to compromise and to be a public servant and not a party servant.
Governor, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Well, Tom Brokaw began his temporary stint on Meet the Press this morning, but he wound up pre-taping the show in Wyoming. Hey, Tom, the secret to success of this thing is you gotta work Sundays.